Tshepo, thank you so much. Good morning. So the political process is in motion. The Gauteng ANC Provincial Executive Committee has met and has come to a number of resolutions, key amongst which is that people such as the MEC, Diko and Masuku, and the MMC in the Johannesburg city, that is Loyiso Masuku, as well as Diko, the presidential spokesperson, should be subjected to the party's Provincial Integrity Commission. Are you satisfied? Are you happy with that outcome?
Yeah, we are happy, Chulas, I must say, because there is both an internal party process which they are subjected to, and through the briefing, the ANC Provincial Secretary did indicate that the FIU will also be doing some investigation, and Premier Makura is expected to take the Gauteng community into confidence by indicating whether they were wrong in the process, what are the findings, all those things. So we are happy with the briefing.
How much confidence should South Africans have in the ANC's Integrity Committee? There's really no real track record of it delivering on holding people to account. I mean, even in cases where it was quite clear that evidence objectively was mounting against people, they've not been able to deliver on any of the accountability the ANC has promised.
Yeah, like I'm saying, what makes us happy, or what at least gives us solace, is the fact that the approach is multi-pronged. Even if the ANC Provincial Integrity Committee may not deliver, you still have the SIU process which is unfolding on the side, where SIU is giving between 2 to 4 weeks to wrap up this investigation, and depending on the outcome of the SIU investigation and findings, the Premier will be expected to act. And I guess that the briefing was clear on what is to be done internally in the organization and on what the Premier is expected to do once he gets the FIU findings.
Tshepo, what's your sense? How deep is the rot in as far as the procurement processes around the response to COVID-19 is concerned in Gauteng? I'll tell you why I'm asking. I found the suggestion that officials in the Department of Health in Gauteng were calling people up to say, are you able to provide this? So the initiative was coming from them, approaching service providers, and basically that whole process, it seems to me, was quite opaque. And therefore, how deep do you believe the rot to be in this whole process?
Yeah, it's worrying, to be honest. Because when I heard this thing, what the ANC Provincial Secretary was saying, that people were using their own discretion to decide who should be called, who should not be called, that predisposes them to also many things. Those officials who are calling people, because you can call and influence the process at the same time. You can indicate that I could have called this other company, but I've chosen you. So you must also deliver in the process. We also saw the spreadsheet, which has been trending on the social media. And if this is part of what the FIU is investigating, surely a lot is still to come. There is a lot that is going to be exposed in terms of the rot that has happened through these COVID-19 tender irregularities.
And let me say to you, Tshepo, that I think it's quite outrageous that such an approach would be taken given the amounts involved here. We are not talking about, in the mid-90s to the early 2000s, the key figure seemed to be about 500,000 rand. We are talking here hundreds of millions of rand. And to proceed in that way, in such a manner that's not so transparent when dealing with hundreds of millions of rand, I think makes it even more outrageous. What's your comment to what I'm saying?
Yeah, the figure they are talking about is about 1.2 billion. There are some who are also talking of a figure that is as high as 2 billion. Yes, I agree that even if we had to deal with emergencies because of COVID-19, but to deal with it recklessly as it was done in this particular case where a person in the spreadsheet, for instance, there is someone who got about 873 million, a tender of 873 million. One wonders if that same approach was followed with this particular company.
Yeah.
That they simply received a call and what followed were documents which were exchanged, and such documents would lead to a payment of 873 million per person.
There's nothing more to say. You hit the nail on the head, Tshepo Mokheranyane there. 873 million rand, the example you give, being possibly the result of a process where someone picked up the phone and called the service provider. Absolutely, you captured it.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. That's Tshepo Mokheranyane there, who is the Nehawu's Gauteng Provincial Secretary, giving reaction to what has come out from the briefing by the ANC.